Welcome to the Own Your Best Life podcast. I'm May Emson, your host, leadership and mindset coach. Here, we talk all things spiritual, mindset, business, leadership, and wellness for the modern seeker who wants to align their life with purpose and inspiration. We'll cover career changes, stress management, meditation, energy, intuition, and more. Each episode holds spiritual and practical tools to help you live a life of your wildest dreams without getting burnt out along the way. Ready to live a life on your own terms? This is the Own Your Best Life podcast. Welcome to episode number 200 of the Own Your Best Life podcast. When people ask me how to actually live a life where they're fulfilled, what they're truly wanting to know is what changes do they need to make to create a life that they really love? And how do you make personal and professional decisions that create fulfillment? You know that something is going to change, but how do you ensure that in this next chapter of yours that you're making changes that you do not regret? And in today's podcast, I'm going to share 4 steps to transform your work and life. Many times, people will wish that they could go back in time, that they could make different decisions about the things they did for work or the choices they made. And time has this funny way of passing faster than we think. And at some point, we say to ourselves, well, let's just be happy with what I have and just get on with life. And this wish for things to have been different in the past, as I say, is hindsight is 2020. And in hindsight, you can see the choices that you made that led to the life that you have today. And there's more clarity for the past choices we've made and the decisions and the consequences of those choices. Yet even if you look back and you know what you could have done differently, the most important thing to know about this feeling of, I think I could have done something better or maybe chosen a different path, is that this uncertainty and this feeling of maybe regret now, or a feeling of frustration or anger even at yourself for things not having gone the way you would have wanted them to, it is not a sign that everything has come to an end and that this is it. It's a sign that there is something brewing ahead. There is a life here. You can still pivot your work and your life. You have more experience and more wisdom than ever before. And you are not too old. You're not past the point in which it makes sense. Even if you feel like you're done with working hard or you're just in a different stage in your life now, you can still find a greater sense of purpose, joy, meaning, or fulfillment in your everyday life experiences. When you think about this idea that we're too old or so much time has passed, I remind myself of this fact, which is that life expectancy has gone from living until you're in your 30s. And this was what life expectancy was in the early 1900s, when maybe some of your grandparents or great-grandparents were born. And those are the people that might be informing some of the decisions that your parents and the beliefs that your parents and other well-meaning and well-intentioned people around you have been passing on to you. So now, at this point, life expectancy is in your 70s, and that's only an average, which means that you'll likely have decades ahead of you. And if you're taking care of your body and your mind well, you might be in your hundreds at that point. And do the math here. You have so many more decades in front of you of time spent working, living, doing things, experiencing life than you probably have had pass you by already. And when you're just counting down days to retirement or to death, you are focused on what you are not able to do because you're just waiting for the time in which, right now, life sucks, I'm going to wait till then. But if you change your mentality and you're actually less focused on that and you're thinking more about all the things you can still do now with the time you do have, you're going to be in an entirely different mind space. Otherwise, you're just wishing for the day where you can just stop working versus loving your work and having such passion and skills that you'd be fine continuing to work and to do life the way it is today. You have so many more options and choices when you feel that time is actually on your side. And so many people that we think about when we think about the respect and the admiration we have are people that have lived well-lived lives. They feel that they didn't leave things that they knew mattered to the wayside. And if they had something that they wanted to do, they actually did it. And that's closing the knowing versus doing gap. We're always going to have things that we don't even know to do. And that is just going to be there. That gap won't be able to be closed unless you somehow talk to people or experience it yourself and you figure out a way around it. But there are so many things that we know to do and we don't do them. And that is the gap where you know that when you're on your deathbed, you're going to feel like the music inside you was left unplayed. And maybe it was later in life when you feel like you're finding your calling, or when others are finding their calling, or maybe starting to do the things that gave them meaning or give you meaning, but you do them and they did it too. These are the people that you feel are truly living well-lived lives. And I would say that they're not always very common, which is why you want to pay attention, because you're likely looking around at people who aren't thinking about life this way. And as a result, they are counting down. Well, when I get here, I can't wait till I turn this age, because once I turn that age, I'm going to hit retirement. I'm going to turn this, I'm going to have that. Versus, wow, I could keep doing this forever if I really wanted to and needed to. And that's fine. Which means that the life you have today is that happy ending that you've always wanted. And if you keep living as if you're past your prime, or that you're at the end of your life instead, that's the kind of life you will have. A life where you feel older and you feel like you're older than you want to be. And then at the end of your life, you're wishing that you were younger, or that you were more brave when you were younger. And you'll keep saying to yourself this: if only I were younger, or I think it's too late. And that is what will be true. The things we tell ourselves become our reality. We affirm them into existence. And that doesn't have to be your path, though. There are ways to pivot your work and life even now that don't have to feel like I have to be young in order to do this. There are ways to do this now that make sense for where you are today, the lifestyle you have today, the context, the situation, maybe the financial responsibilities and the level of risk that you have today. And these choices are still available, and they will leave you feeling more free and alive than ever before. And these are the spiritual high performance strategies that I personally use. And these are the same strategies that we would work on together when you start your coaching journey with me. So the first step would be this: your spirituality and your superpower edge. Really figuring out who you are, what motivates you, and what drives you will help you understand yourself better. And you then know who you are inside and out. And regardless of the situation you're in, when you know that you have a strong spiritual core, which is that feeling of calm groundedness, you will feel like you have superpowers. You know your gifts. You know that your life is a living, breathing example of miracles in action. It will feel like the universe, source, God energy, whatever you call it, is on your side. And you seem to overcome challenges. You seem to live. You seem to love. And you are someone who knows themselves well, and you're comfortable in your own skin. And you emanate and vibrate with a type of energy that is magnetic, because it's truthful, it's genuine, and it's honest. And you are thrilled to be alive. You have so much energy again for what's ahead of you, because you know that you found your thing. You know you're using your gifts, and you know that you're having the impact you want to have in the world. That's the first step. The second one is your achievement and personal strategy map. You will now know the multiple happy endings that your life can have and how they are connected to your passions, to your purpose, and you'll always know what you're doing and why. When you have this level of clarity in terms of what possible things you can be doing with your life and your time today, you will be able to release the drama of comparing yourself to other people because you are so deeply connected to your own path, to the journey that you are on. You are the main character of the life that you're living. And to outsiders, you seem to be one of those people who are so focused because you know who you are and what you're doing in life. You see everything as interconnected. You find the purpose, you find the meaning to your life and to your work. And opportunities will seem to come out of the woodwork for you. Things that you previously said, well, people don't want to give this to me, or people don't want to do this, or people don't support me, or this would be a dream, but I don't know if I can have it. These often will be the things that actually come true. Now, third step is the mind-body connection and your flow activation rituals. Establishing a connection between the mind and the body will revolutionize the way you experience life. Many of us are in our heads all the time, or we're just in our bodies and we're disconnected to the analytical side of us as well. You'll find that you have so much more innate wisdom within you that you start to trust your decisions even more than you have before. You'll find yourself a scientist and this artist in your life and your work, and everything becomes this joyful and more interesting and curious experience. And your flow activation rituals will create this color of this tapestry of life that you're creating. And you will then have more time back than you've ever experienced before. You're entering into different ways of being. And when I say being, it means the way that you're experiencing life, the way you're doing your work. It's a different and altered state of consciousness. You'll learn how to master time. And instead of thinking that it's just never enough, you're able to be present and focused with the time you have, even when things feel like they are in chaos and there's tons of uncertainty around you. You will breathe more easily, you will find more peace, and you will be a joy to be around. And the fourth step is harmony and leadership. Leading yourself and leading others in this lifetime is a work of a lifetime. We stop wishing that people were different, that they were better, that they were easier to handle. And instead, we find ourselves appreciating people as they are. We find relationships in our personal and professional lives start to change in helpful ways. They start to blossom. And we develop the skills of influencing and communicating with people who are vastly different from who we are. We know how to create the kind of world we want to live in within our teams, our families, our communities, and we find ourselves living a life that feels congruent to what we believe, to what we know, and what we do, and how we do things. All of that fully aligned. And then people want to follow us, and we become leaders without even trying. And then we create leaders around us who are excelling and who are willing to work through the hard times with us. And so now we're tapping into this power of a truly connected world. And we seem to feel like life gets easier and we're more supported than ever before. And so this ripple effect from the inside out starts to continue. And when you do these 4 things, you will find that your life changes in incredible ways. And I've seen it for myself and for my clients. They become these strong, confident people that they always knew they wanted to be. And that version of themselves that they know is inside shows up way more often. And so this life that they start to live becomes really a unique life that is truly their own, where they cannot be replicated because they are their own person and they start to feel so much more comfortable being themselves. They stand out and they lead. So you can feel as if you're this changed person after you transform your work in life. Yet you will find yourself more yourself than ever before. And you know how strong you are at this point. You've worked through some pretty hard stuff and you've earned all of the things that you have in your life today. And you know how to design the life of time and financial freedom that comes from being someone that creates value in this world by being who they are and by being a leader in their teams and in their communities and in their lives, and of being that person who can cut through the noise for everyone else. This is that self-leadership turned other leadership, and it creates such a powerful sense of choice for you, because that skill is hard to find, and that skill is hard to develop, and that skill is only something you can do. You cannot buy that skill. You have to create it, and you have to develop it, and you have to use it. And so all of these new and different experiences are still waiting for you. And you, no matter where you are in life, will have a choice in deciding whether or not you will find yourself in a life where you are surpassing even your own expectations, or just wishing you were younger, wishing time hadn't passed, wishing you hadn't made certain choices in your life. And that's why this now is the choice before you. You can keep thinking you're too late to pivot your work and your life. Or you can believe that if you're still alive, you have an opportunity to do the things that you've always wanted to do, even if it feels a little scary and uncomfortable. And when you decide to go after your dreams and pivot your work and life to be even more in alignment with who you are and want to be, you'll find that there are more possibilities than ever before, that you figure out smart and intelligent ways to make all of these moves, and it is way more doable and simple than you've ever believed. So if you're ready to go on this journey and become someone who has a transformed work and life experience, you will want to watch my free training on how to stand out and lead. You can go to the show notes and click on the link there, episode 200, and you'll be able to find the free training link. And then you can join me inside Spiritual Achiever Coaching and go to mayemson.com/spiritual achiever to join. It is risk-free. You can try out the first month, and if you don't see the changes that you're looking for, just email us and you will get your money back. You will get clarity on what you want next, and then you'll figure out how to go and do it in a way that is truly aligned with who you are. Again, if you haven't watched the free training already on how to stand out your lead, you'll want to watch it today. You will be able to know with a deep sense of certainty that you can create your next chapter with calm confidence and finally achieve that time and financial freedom that you've been looking for. Again, go to the show notes and you'll find the link there to get access now. That's it for this week, my friends. I hope you have an amazing day, and I'm so glad to have been able to chat with you. That was episode 200. What a milestone. Thank you all for listening in and being part of this journey, and I cannot wait to share so much more with you in the coming weeks. Thanks so much for joining us this week on Own Your Best Life. Make sure to subscribe to the show on iTunes or wherever you listen to podcasts so that you'll never miss a show. And while you're at it, can you please rate and review on iTunes? I would so appreciate it. Share it with a friend, take a screenshot of it, and tag @MayEmson. This helps continue to get the word out. For more show notes and resources, check out www.mayemson.com. It'll have all the links to everything you heard here today. Thanks so much for listening. It's time to own your best life.